there's a subtle ache that no one talks about. It's not loud, it doesn't scream, it just lingers in the quiet hours, especially at night. The feeling that you're almost there, almost. That strange in-between space where hope meets hesitation, where you sense something just beyond your reach, like a breath you can't quite catch. And still, despite all the moments that didn't unfold the way you dreamed, something in you hasn't given up. Not fully. Something in you is listening, right now. You didn't arrive here by accident. You didn't click this video because you were curious. You were pulled by a resonance that doesn't come from your mind, but from somewhere deeper. That part of you that remembers. Even if your conscious self forgot, tonight isn't just another night. There are moments, vibrationally specific, quietly orchestrated, when the veil between what is and what could be becomes thin. And this is one of those nights. When Neville Goddard spoke of the subconscious as the womb of reality, he wasn't being poetic, he was being precise. Your world doesn't shape around your wants. It shapes around what you embody as truth, not what you hope for, but what you've allowed yourself to feel as already yours. Neville said, "Feeling is the secret, not hoping, not waiting, feeling, being." Joe Dispenza echoes the same wisdom through the lens of neuroscience. Every thought you think and every emotion you feel emits an electromagnetic signature. Together, they create a field. And when that field is coherent, when your heart and mind speak the same language, the quantum field listens. It listens instantly, not because you earned it, or forced it, or proved yourself, but because you aligned. So, if you're feeling something tonight, something that's not excitement, not fear, but resonance, it's because something in you is already vibrating at the frequency of what you seek. You are not being called forward by a promise. You are being echoed back by your own vibration. You are the tuning fork, and the field around you is already singing. All that's needed now is for you to allow your inner chord to hum in return. There's a kind of inner dissonance that doesn't speak in words, but in sensations. A subtle tightness in the chest when you visualize your dream. A flicker of unease when you affirm your desires. On the surface, you want it so much. You say the right things. You visualize. You script. You hope. But underneath, your body doesn't agree. It holds a different story, a quieter one, a story of disappointment, of waiting, of wanting, and never receiving. And that story, though silent, is powerful. It shapes your field more than your words ever will. Because here's the paradox. The more intensely you want something, the more your energy announces that you do not have it. The stronger the yearning, the clearer the signal of absence. Your vibration, your emotional frequency, is not in the wanting, but in the remembering of lack. And the universe, precise and neutral, doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your coherence, to the emotional reality you carry in your nervous system, in your breath, in your posture when you think no one is watching. So often, what we call blocks are simply emotional memories still echoing in the body. Memories that say, "It didn't work before. It probably won't work now." Even if we've moved on intellectually, these echoes remained lodged in the fabric of our being. They whisper doubts not as thoughts, but as feelings. Subtle, persistent, undermining. I once knew a woman who craved abundance. Not out of greed, but from a place of longing to feel safe, supported, seen. She wrote affirmations, she visualized her dream life. She said all the right things, but deep inside, she carried an unspoken fear. The fear of being judged if she succeeded. If she truly had more than others, would she still be loved? Would she still belong? That fear, though never voiced, distorted her signal. And the more she tried to override it with positivity, the louder the dissonance became. This isn't failure, it's just information. Your vibration isn't betraying you, it's revealing you. It's showing you where your energy still asks to be witnessed, to be honored, to be integrated. Because your mind can dream of the stars, but your body still remembers the ground you fell on. And until that memory is transformed, your vibration cannot fully rise. There's a subtle trap hidden inside the idea of believing, a trap that many don't even see. We're told that belief is everything, that if we could just believe hard enough, the universe would deliver. But belief without emotional familiarity is fragile. It's mental. It lives in the head, not the body. And the body is where your vibration truly lives. You don't manifest what you believe in theory. You manifest what feels emotionally familiar, what your nervous system recognizes as safe, known, already yours. This is what Neville Goddard meant when he said, "Feeling is the secret." He wasn't speaking about excitement or hype or emotional intensity. He was pointing to the quiet, stable, resonant feeling of, "I've been here before," that sacred familiarity, that knowing. Think of a time in your life when something just felt right. Not because you believed it would happen, but because it felt natural, expected, as if the universe was just catching up to what your inner world had already accepted. That is the space of true manifestation, not belief as effort, but feeling as memory. And here's where emotional alchemy begins. Because you don't need to generate new feelings out of thin air. You can borrow them, transfer them. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It wires what you feel, not just what you think. Neuroplasticity allows you to rehearse emotionally, to take a feeling of confidence from one area of your life and attach it to a new desire, to let the energy of safety or joy or freedom become the new home for what you once called impossible. This is not about forcing yourself to feel what you don't feel. It's about finding a thread, any thread that already exists within you, a moment, a memory, a sensation, and weaving it into something new. Because the universe is not waiting for your mind to be convinced. It's waiting for your body to remember. There is a subtle desperation that often hides beneath the surface of spiritual seeking, a quiet hunger for confirmation, a need to see something, anything that proves we're on the right path. We look for signs. We search the sky for symbols, scan the hours for repeating numbers, replay conversations for hidden messages. We don't do this because we're weak. We do this because we crave reassurance. We want to feel held, guided, aligned. But the moment we begin to chase signs, something shifts. Our energy moves from presence to pursuit, from being the source to becoming the seeker. And in the quantum field, that change is not invisible. The field is responsive, sensitive, precise. As Joe Dispenza reminds us, it is not the world that needs to be convinced. It is our frequency that must remain coherent. And coherence cannot coexist with the vibration of doubt, masked as curiosity. When you begin to rely on outer proof to validate your inner truth, you lower your vibrational authority. The observer collapses the wave. And when the observer watches with uncertainty, the wave collapses into distortion. You become entangled with your own doubt. And the more you look for proof, the more you find evidence of its absence. This is why so many feel lost in the in-between, not because their desires are wrong, but because their field has become entangled in the need for reassurance. Manifestation is not confirmation, it is coherence. It does not flow from checking if you're aligned. It flows from knowing that you already are. You are not a radio waiting for a signal. You are the transmitter. You are the field. And the more you remember that, the less you'll need signs to tell you what your body already knows. The shift is subtle, but profound. From, "Is it coming?" to, "It's already here in me." From, "I hope" to, "I am." From seeking to sourcing. There's a sacred intelligence in your body that your mind often overlooks. A language spoken not in thoughts, but in pulses. In the way your chest tightens when you dream too big. In the way your stomach clenches when you imagine receiving more than you're used to. You may tell yourself you're ready. You may even believe it. But if your body doesn't feel safe, it won't let it in. Manifestation is not just an energetic alignment. It's a physiological readiness. Your nervous system must say yes before your reality can. And sometimes, without even realizing it, the body says no. Not because you're broken, not because you're blocked, but because the body remembers. It remembers the times you opened up and were met with disappointment. It remembers the promises that turned to pain. It learned, silently, to protect you. This is where the wisdom of the polyvagal theory meets the mystery of the quantum. Your vagus nerve, the great communicator between your body and your brain, is constantly scanning for safety. Not just physical safety, but emotional congruence. If what you desire feels too different from what you've known, your system might reject it, not as punishment, but as protection. But the body can be reintroduced to safety through breath, through sensation, through the sacred art of imagination, not as fantasy, but as somatic rehearsal. This is what Neville Goddard meant when he spoke of living in the end, and what Joe Dispenza teaches when he guides us into heart-brain coherence. It's not about pretending, it's about feeling, about giving the body a preview of what's to come, so when it arrives, it feels like home. Take a moment now, a single breath. Let the mental asking soften. Let the body feel what it's like to already receive. No drama, no spectacle, just presence, just softness. Let the shoulders loosen. Let the breath deepen. Let the body say yes, because the mind can dream all at once, but it's the body that opens the door. There is a certain kind of frustration that doesn't go away. No matter how much inner work you do, no matter how many shifts you make, it lingers. It shows up again and again, wearing different masks. It's tempting to see this as a flaw, as failure. But what if it's not a blockage at all? What if it's a message? A mirror? In many spiritual traditions, there is a guardian at the gate, a figure who appears not to punish, but to purify, to ensure that only what is aligned can pass through. And sometimes, your frustration is that guardian. It arrives to filter your desire, not to withhold it, but to refine it, to make sure that what you're calling in is not just what you want, but what your soul is truly ready to hold. This isn't about endurance, it's about awareness. That repeated pattern, that emotional sting, that sense of, why is this happening again? It's not a loop, it's a signal, a sacred calibration tool. Each trigger, each ache, is guiding you, not away from your manifestation, but toward the exact adjustment your frequency needs in order to match it. Emotional alchemy begins when you stop trying to escape the discomfort and start listening to it. When you realize that pain is not the enemy of your manifestation, it's the edge where your old frequency is dissolving and something new is asking to be born. Just like a pearl forms only through irritation, your deepest transformation is often hidden in the place that keeps hurting. There is no punishment here, no delay, only a deeper invitation. What feels like a wall may actually be a mirror, and what you see reflected back is not failure. It's the frequency of the future, asking if you're ready to carry it without fear. There is a hidden cost in the rush of imagining your dream life. The moment you close your eyes and see it, the love, the freedom, the abundance, your body floods with dopamine. You feel alive, elated, expanded. But then, the moment fades. The high crashes. Reality returns. And now, instead of feeling inspired, you feel empty, disconnected, as if something precious slipped through your fingers. This cycle is more common than it seems. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because dopamine, though powerful, is fleeting. It spikes. It doesn't sustain. And when you rely on emotional intensity to carry your vision, you begin to chase the feeling instead of the frequency. You become addicted to the visual high, but unanchored in the actual vibration that calls your future in. There's a difference between excitement and alignment. Excitement is loud. It dances in your chest, sparks in your thoughts, but alignment is quiet, grounded. It settles in your bones. It doesn't shout, it hums. And that hum, that steady resonance, is what the quantum responds to. Not the fireworks of visualization, but the silence that follows when you let the vision integrate. This is why so many feel disillusioned. They visualize with fervor, but nothing changes. Because they return from the vision, not with stillness, but with craving. And craving is a frequency of absence, of lack, the very opposite of embodiment. The key is not to stop visualizing, but to shift the way you do it. Let your images rise like incense, not like fire. Let them linger in stillness. Let your breath become the anchor, not the drama. Don't just see it. Feel it as ordinary. Let it be so natural that your body doesn't react with excitement, but with recognition. Because true manifestation doesn't come with a high. It comes with a knowing, a quiet nod from your nervous system that says, of course. And that, of course, is where the magic lives. There's a subtle difference between dreaming of something and remembering it. One feels distant, a hope reaching outward. The other feels intimate, as though the experience has already left its trace in your bones. Fantasy reaches, memory rests, and manifestation lives not in the longing, but in the resting. Greg Braden speaks of coherence as the language of the field, not noise, not begging, not even intention in the traditional sense, but coherence. That quiet alignment where thought, emotion, and belief meet in stillness. And in that stillness, the universe recognizes itself in you, because it doesn't respond to what you wish for. It responds to what you embody as already done. Time in consciousness is not linear. The future is not out there. It's already coded within you, but it only becomes accessible when you stop treating it like something to chase. When you begin to feel it as a memory, not a maybe. When you let it settle into your system like a story your soul already knows. This is not about pretending, it's about remembering forward, about rehearsing your future not with desperation but with reverence, with presence. Not as if you're trying to convince yourself, but as if you're honoring a moment that already lives inside you, waiting to be lived again. Let your desires become familiar, not thrilling, not foreign, but known, safe, expected. Let your body learn the rhythm of what you want before it appears. Because when you can feel the future as memory, the universe no longer has to deliver it. It only has to reflect it. And that reflection is not a reward. It's recognition, a mirror held up to the vibration you've already chosen to become. There's a quiet truth that many spend years searching for, only to discover it was never hidden. It was always here, beneath the noise, beneath the striving, beneath the layers of trying to become what they already are. You were never chasing a dream. You were remembering a resonance. You were never waiting for a sign. The sign was you. Bruce Lipton teaches us that our environment is not just the world outside us. It's also the biochemical atmosphere created by our beliefs. Every thought, every conviction shapes the chemical language our cells speak. And if those cells believe it's safe to receive, if they feel at home in abundance, in love, in peace, then reality, in its infinite precision, must follow. Not because you forced it, but because you became the environment that allows it. Joe Dispenza echoes this truth through transformation. He reminds us that to change your personal reality, you must first change your personality, not in the surface sense, but in the essence, in the energy you carry, the identity you embody, the frequency you choose. The world doesn't shift for you, you shift, and the world recognizes your new signal. Tonight is not about waiting for something to happen. It's about recognizing what's already in motion. This moment, this pull, this resonance you feel. It's not anticipation, it's activation. You are not the one knocking on the door of manifestation. You are the house. You are the place it's been trying to enter. And the moment you realize that, everything softens. Because you are not incomplete. You are not behind. You are not broken. You're a frequency remembering its name, a vibration settling into its truth, a home that was never lost, just quiet. And now, perhaps for the first time in a long while, you are ready to unlock what was never truly locked. You are ready to let it in, because you finally let yourself be.